What is up, you guys, and welcome to Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel. It looks like Thomas Tuchel has been making some decisions on our youth players and who's going to stick around and who possibly may be leaving this summer. So stick around as we dive deeper into this. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike. Welcome to this YouTube channel. If you are new, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And today we are talking about Thomas Tuchel's tactics moving forward with Chelsea.
Wunderbar.
So what is going on right now? It seems like a lot of the younger players are not wanting to re-sign or renegotiate their contracts with Chelsea. We see multiple players already leave, and we could see even more players later this summer leave Chelsea, which may or may not be a good thing or a bad thing, because it's always hard to tell with younger players how well they can do. Yes, we've had Salah, we've had Kevin De Bruyne, we've had a few other players that have slipped through the cracks, but for each one of those players, we've had 6 or 7 other young players that didn't shine as well and were bang average for the most part for their career. Now, what's going on right now, like I said, we've had multiple players talk about not possibly coming back. Livramento being one, Bates being another one, Harris being the other one as well. But the one person we want to talk about today is Hudson Odoi, due to the fact that Thomas Tuchel has mentioned that he is going to be on this squad. He sees him having a future at Chelsea, which to me is a good thing, because Hudson Odoi has been one of those players that has really stuck it out. He's grinded. He's shown that he is Chelsea through and through, and get his starting role at Chelsea. Now, it's not going to be easy for this player. He is still very young. He's 20 years old, so yes, he does have maybe some growing to still do yet, but overall, this player has been phenomenal for Chelsea. And a couple seasons ago, Bayern Munich was knocking on the door for this player, which shows you that there is interest in this talented young player. Now, he's been claimed to be the next Eden Hazard for Chelsea, even though I don't really like giving a player this title, because each and every player has their own unique style, their way of doing things, and you never want to really give them that burden of saying they're going to be the next player, such as Theo Walcott being the next Thierry Henry, which obviously we know never happened, and so many other players being called the next Messi, and again, it never happened. So I don't really want to give him the title of being the next Eden Hazard, because Eden Hazard was a one of a kind. We are so grateful to have him at our club, and obviously he's at Real Madrid now. But again, I think Hudson Odoi can be very vital for this club. Now, the reason why I think that is because this player can play in different positions. While Frank Lampard was here, we saw him play more on the wing. He does prefer to be on the left, where he can cut in onto his right foot and take a shot. But we've seen him play on the right wing, where he makes multiple crosses. Thomas Tuchel even threw him as a right wing back, but I don't see him probably playing that position too often unless we maybe pick up a few injuries. We have Reece James, who is definitely a better option at that position, as is Azpilicueta. Both those guys can flip-flop back and forth between those two positions in the defensive line. Where Hudson Odoi, I don't really see him being that stable in that position. He's really good, obviously, going forward, but playing defensively, not the best, which is why we probably need him out on the wing. Now, the problem with that, though, is that we still have a lot of wingers and a lot of attacking players, such as Ziyech, Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Hudson Odoi, Mason Mount, just to name a few players that we have right now. And that is going to be one of the harder things for Hudson Odoi, is to break through that barrier and getting starting role, because obviously any of those other players, if they're having a great performance and start to the season, it's going to be hard for some of those other players then to break into the starting 11. Now, again, Thomas Tuchel has a lot to work with right now, and that is one of the good things with this summer, that he now has a full summer break to look, assess, and really think about who he wants to keep at the club and who possibly he wants to send away, maybe on loan or actually sell, and then also who he wants to bring in. Because when he came into our club last year, it was obviously Frank Lampard's team, and he had the players that Frank already wanted, and he had to adapt to that. Whereas now, he can get the players that he wants, keep the players that he wants, and adapt those players to his philosophy to really work the way he wants them. And again, he really looks forward to having Hudson Odoi as do I, because again, this player is so young, but yet has a huge potential of being one of the better players at this club. Probably not this upcoming season, but in the next 2-3 seasons for the most part. Again, each and every season, I think he's going to get better and better. Now, the other thing, like I said, I want to talk about are the other players that are most likely going to be leaving. And it is a shame, but again, Thomas Tuchel has to make these decisions on which players are going to stay, which players are most likely going to leave. And you can't keep everyone. Yes, you can loan players out, but a lot of these players really want to play for a first team and really have a solid foundation of maybe sticking with the team. And if Chelsea's not that option, they obviously want to go somewhere else and then play for that club, which you can't really blame players like that, because as a younger player, you really want to keep growing as a player and keep going and getting that cemented starting 11 for maybe a top Premier team or in the Serie A, Bundesliga, all those other clubs, which as at Chelsea right now, we usually transfer or loan them out to smaller clubs that we don't really have to worry about, but yet we know they'll get at least a lot of game time, and then we bring them back to assess them and then possibly sell them. So, like I said, it's not ever easy for Thomas Tuchel or the board at Chelsea, because again, there are so many players that we have in this squad that are already elite. It's hard to then bring in a younger player to then try and test them out, because again, we want to win each and every game. Yes, there are a few cup games that maybe we can play some younger players. Some players don't play as often, but those games are far and few between, whereas those players definitely need the game time each and every week to grow as players. So, like I said, right now, Chelsea has a little bit of a problem with all their younger players, but again, I think they're doing the best they can with the youth squad. As of right now, yes, they're going to have to get rid of some people, but they are going to keep some people as well. So that is all I have for you today. And I want to make a shout out to one of the guys who commented yesterday, AJ. He commented on my videos. So shout out to you, and thank you for commenting to my videos. And to anyone else that wants to comment, I'm more than happy to shout out to you guys. Again, comment down below what you think about the youth players staying, going, who Thomas Tuchel should keep, who we should let go. I want to know who you think. So again, if you haven't before, make sure to like and subscribe down below as well. I greatly appreciate that, and we will see you next time.